very significant. We were anticipating in the budget that the unemployment rate would be 5.5% in the June quarter and around 5% in the June quarter next year. Right now, we've seen the unemployment rate at 4.9%. But I also want to make the point that today's unemployment numbers do not take into account the lockdown in New South Wales. We think that it will have an impact on the labour market, and we anticipate that to be reflected in the next round of jobs numbers for the month of July.
Do you anticipate, what sort of impact do you anticipate?
Well, again, it does depend to some extent as to, in terms of the broader economic impact as to what happens with this lockdown in New South Wales, how long it extends. But we have very much focused on ensuring that the New South Wales businesses and households get that support that they need through this lockdown. If New South Wales is successful in beating back the virus and this outbreak, then Australia is the better for it. A strong New South Wales, a strong Victoria, a strong Queensland, a strong Tasmania, a strong South Australia, a strong Western Australia, a strong Northern Territory and a strong Australian Capital Territory all makes for a stronger Australia. That's why I was very disappointed in the comments coming out of the Victorian Premier just in the last couple of days, because this is not a time for petty politics. This is another Team Australia moment where we should all come together. And indeed, the Victorian Treasurer was very supportive of more support going into New South Wales to deal with what is a lengthier lockdown right now in New South Wales than what Victoria experienced just a matter of weeks ago.
Were you equally disappointed in the comments of the New South Wales Premier who today said that Victoria hadn't handled the pandemic response very well?
Well, again, I think what we need to focus on here is beating back this outbreak in New South Wales. We put aside the politics and we focus on how we can make Australia stronger, healthier and more prosperous. And the way to do that is to beat back this latest outbreak.
You're a Victorian, you've got businesses more electric
Sure.
suffered and maybe still are. I mean, is it frustrating though that you couldn't get a package of equal value up to them in time that Sydney's now got? There is that view out there in the community, Treasurer, that Sydney is getting special treatment.
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, because the facts are the best antidote to a misperception such as you've put to me right now. Firstly, Victoria has received more than $45 billion in direct economic support, including, as I said, more on a per capita basis through the JobKeeper program than any other state. Second, New South Wales did not get any more than Victoria did for the first 2 weeks of that lockdown, and that's very, very important. They got the same deal in New South Wales as Victoria did for the first 2 weeks of the lockdown, which was the 2 weeks that Victoria experienced. Thirdly, we offered Victoria a 50-50 split with respect to the economic support package. We were very happy to provide a 50-50 split on business support and a 50-50 split on income support. Now, the Victorian government, as it is their right, said to us they would rather go it alone on business support and we would go and provide the income support.